that they have just fundamentally not taken the time to understand the game. And we've seen this with these type of owners. They're coming in, right intentions don't always mean great results. And
Guys, hello. Welcome back to Sweet and Sour Soccer. The international break is upon us. However, there's always drama in English football. Scott, we're going to be talking about a big change at Birmingham City, and a change that maybe a lot of people didn't actually see coming. I should put a disclaimer out there for anyone watching. This is a general neutral football channel. We are Wolves fans. However, Birmingham fans, do not worry. We are going to try and be as impartial as we can. And I must say, Scott, even though we are Wolves fans, if I was a Birmingham fan now, I'd be fuming.
Oh, definitely, mate. And I think it's one of them, isn't it? Look, we've got the Midland rivalries, but we've had two clubs. We've had Birmingham and West Brom having real financial difficulties in the last few years. And you don't want to see the clubs go, do you? Like, the rivalry makes it fun. I'd love to see all four clubs in the Premier League battling it out. But in this particular situation, as we know, Birmingham have been took over by some very ambitious owners. But my problem with it is these are owners that mean well, but maybe do not have a clue in some regards. And we've already seen that with American owners that have invested before. Of course, they've got an American investor in Tom Brady. But this decision to sack the manager makes no sense at all. And I think before even considering anything about the form of how he went this season, you've got to understand the story. This was a manager that came in last season, Birmingham City, one of the favourites to go down. He kept them up comfortably. Yeah. Now they sit sixth in the table in the championship, and they've been playing well, not always had the most of the possession at time, but have been still picking up points. And of course, it's only just happened, the takeover. It's not like there's been a whole massive influx of money. Yes, they've made signings, but for me, this is not quite a team yet that are ready to be challenging right at the top of the table. But James, as we know, it doesn't seem like this is the reason that they've even gone and got rid of the manager, does it really?
All right, guys, do us a favour. It's that time of the video. If you are enjoying it, do like and subscribe for more content.
Yes, guys, we have weekly championship predictions. We've got Premier League predictions, as well as videos like this. So there's plenty for you on this channel. So as James says, subscribe, hit like, and let's get back to speaking about, well, this situation.
I agree with most, if not all, of what you said, by the way. And I'm sure Birmingham fans watching this probably will as well. It's that the Hollywood movie, isn't it? You know, what we're seeing it so much more in football now, whether it's Bowley and spending £1 billion in 3 windows or 2.5 windows, whatever it is. We've seen the splash that Messi has made in the US. Beckham's documentary's just come out, and these Americans are now, they're really getting a flavour for European football, especially in Germany. It's American ownership, we've seen it in the Bundesliga, and now it's crossing over even more, not just in the Prem, but in the Championship. The decision not only to get rid of him, I find bizarre. Also, to hire Rooney, again, is it just because of the name? Because Rooney, apart from Beckham and Messi, he's probably the 3rd biggest star in the US after playing for DC United, managing them, which he didn't do great. I'm wondering what their genuine reasons were. Do they want to get Birmingham back to the Premier League? Do they want to fix their ground? Do they want to sort the finances and the squad out? Or do they just want to, is it another toy for them?
Well, I think this is a really good discussion, because I think they are owners, and I think Birmingham fans might agree that do seem to have the right ambition. They seem to be wanting to do well by the club, and they seem to be taking it seriously.
Everyone says that though, don't they? When they first come in, everyone says that. The Venky's with Blackburn, our old owners, Morgan, not to make it a Wolves video, he was going to build the Molineux back up, did one stand and left. They all say it, don't they? And again, we are rivals. You don't want to see Birmingham going into the League 2 or League 1, do you?
No, and I don't think they will, mate. I think they're owners that do have the right intentions. Everything I've seen so far, I remember watching the Football League highlights, and they actually had them on at the time. And I think even Tom Brady was there at the time. He was buying drinks for everyone in Birmingham as well, like making the fans feel at home. But they made one comment that did concern me, and it didn't seem like much at the time. But they made a small comment where they said, Yeah, we want Birmingham to be a ground that everyone from around the area can come and enjoy. We want to obviously build it up and be something that everyone can be proud of. And I sat there and thought, this is an owner not understanding football once again here, because it's not America. It's very different. England. And look at like Aston Villa, for example, right? In Aston Villa, they use the Villa ground sometimes to host events. I know Birmingham fans that even if they like the act performing there, won't go to it because it's Villa Park. You're not going to have, your local rivals going, oh, I love St Andrews now. I'd love to go there. It just does not work. And
it doesn't. And it, just on that quickly, is a culture thing, because for those who maybe don't know, I don't even think you know this, I do like my NFL and basketball. I know, but I do like the NBA. They will, fans of any whatever will just go there because it's a full day's event. They've got carnivals there and fairs, and they'll have musicians. They'll spend 8 hours at the ground before the game kicks off.
It's like the game's secondary, isn't it? The game's secondary. That's not the case. That's not the case in English football.
Let's try and bring it on to, of course, the man that's lost his job and the actual football side of it. Scott, they're sixth in the league. They're sixth in the league, and you've got to say, yes, I think you mentioned it about the possession. They're not the Man City of the Championship or the Arsenal. They don't have a lot of the ball. They do. He has tried to favour a 4-2-3-1 and also a 4-4-2 during games. And you've got Hogan leading the line. You've got Dembele on one wing. I think it's, what's his name? Is it Bakuna? I think he plays on the right as well. They've got goals in that team. They've scored 15 goals already this season. The football's been good. You're sitting in the last playoff position. What is it they want? And that just makes me think again. It's that name. They want the Rooney. They want the whatever.
And then if we're led to believe, that's what the Athletic have been saying as well, that they actually want that Hollywood name. But firstly, on the football, as you said, this is a team that, have been playing well. They haven't had a massive amount invested in them. Yes, they've had some money invested, but you look at the other teams and what they've been spending in the Championship. We've seen how much like the likes of Leicester, Leeds, Southampton have been able to throw at things purely just because, well, let's be honest, they sold a lot of players when they come down, of course. But there's other teams that have been able to invest highly as well, such as Ipswich, who find themselves very high in the table. Birmingham, for me, this felt like a real good transition season for them, and if they could finish somewhere in mid-table, it'd probably be a very good result for them, an improvement from being a lower end of the Championship team. But
got a few Wolves players, haven't they? John Ruddy, Sanderson was made permanent as well.
Yeah.
They've got some good players, some pretty good players to make a push, but carry on.
But I was just going to say on the Rooney matter as well, you touched on it, Messi. Look at their Inter Miami's tickets. They've gone from like something like the season tickets were, I think, something daft like 500-600, maybe a bit more. Sorry, for the season.
I think it's a few thousand.
They've like times by 10. And I do wonder whether they, as you say, in the US, it's a massive spectacle. And I think something's going to happen similar in Birmingham. Did they suddenly think bringing Rooney in as a manager and people are going to go, oh my God, it's Wayne Rooney. He's the manager. We're going to have to go and see Birmingham City now. And if that is the case, once again, it even annoys me that they have just fundamentally not taken the time to understand the game. And we've seen this with these type of owners. They're coming in. Right intentions don't always mean great results. And it's a really big injustice because, as I say, I don't think they've even took the time to understand what the man that's been let go really did for the club. Because when the club was on the brink of it falling apart, we've spoke about, you touched on the ground, not being able to be fully open at the moment. And of course, they're changing that. But last season, Birmingham, as I said, once again, favourites to go down. He steered the ship, kept them up easily. He really did deserve his time, and it's an absolute disgrace, I think, that he's not even been given the chance to do it, especially when he's doing very well as well.
No, I completely agree. I just want to read a quote because I think it would be fair to say, Scott, we aren't big fans of the American leagues. We don't know what's going on out there. So I wanted to look at Rooney's record, and it's not great. It's 10 wins, 10 draws, and 14 defeats. Now, we don't know who's good out there or not. Was DC Squads United good? They didn't have a great season last season. They actually missed the playoffs. And I think over there in America, they've only got like 12 teams in their conference, but like 8 teams make the playoffs. So
Yeah.
if you don't make the playoffs, you're pretty crap, let's be honest. But did he have like a Sheffield United squad or a Luton squad where it was expected? Or did he have like a Brighton Villa type squad? Well, I did some research on it, and I just want to read out a quote word for word. And this is from The Athletic in the US. And it says, things did not play out for Rooney as planned by the ownership. The goal was always to make the playoffs, and it's likely they should have. They've given a big booster to their roster, and the club has put a lot of money in on players. So you're looking at it from the commercial side, fair enough, it's Wayne Rooney, it's a big name. But by the sounds of it, and obviously we all know The Athletic, and I've read a few other sources, they're saying that it's a catastrophe that DC United haven't made the playoffs. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking, what's going on?
Well, even,
why?
I mean, even look at Rooney and Derby, you know. I mean, look, everyone says he did a really good job there, and in some regards he did, but he still didn't. I know they had a lot of points reductions, right? But he still ultimately, they still went down, if you know what I mean. And then he left because he thought the grass was going to be greener. No one really came in for him. And
No.
I do question whether Birmingham City fans are kind of looking across to their rivals and they're looking at what they did with Steven Gerrard and, of course, how that ended up panning out and thinking, are we just doing the same again? It feels the same, doesn't it? Lampard, I'm not sold on him as a manager. Gerrard, I'm not sold on him as a manager. And I put Rooney into that same bracket. I think all three of them should have spent a lot more time actually going away and learning the game, a bit like Arteta did, for example, before going straight into that managerial role.
In Rooney's defence, I think he has done that. He went to a Derby team where he knew that squad was stripped out points deduction. He went to the US to try and get a bit of experience. I think he's tried to do it a little bit more differently,
Mate, but
more
who are
so
you
than
learning
Gerrard
off
and
there?
Lampard, anyway.
My point is, who are you learning off? Like, because if Arteta went and learned off Guardiola, like, do you know what I mean?
No, I get that.
He's the main man. I mean, look, I think it's an absolute scandalous decision. I expect the Birmingham fans will get behind him when he is announced, but I think it's going to leave a real bitter taste, isn't it? It really is.
Let me ask you a question. Put the football side of it to one side at the moment. We'll put a pin in that. Let's say Birmingham might finish in the playoffs. They may finish 14th. We don't know. From a commercial side, a financial side, irrespective of the football, do you think this is going to put a tremendous more bums in seats? Because we know Rooney. He's been on our screen since he was 15. Most fans have seen him play live, either at the ground or whatever the case is. They've seen him play for England. He's been on our TV screens now for 25, whatever years. This isn't a name where I'm thinking, if I'm a Birmingham fan who doesn't have a season ticket, I'm not going to go and rush one because it's Rooney, because we know Rooney. It's not like they've brought in like Perlo or whatever, you know what I mean? A big name that's foreign exotic. It's Wayne Rooney. We know Rooney. So from a financial point, do you think it's going to do anything in terms of tickets?
Is that the aim though? We're actually thinking about it while I'm digesting that. Is that even the aim, or is the aim to try and go, to the American fans? Look, we've got Wayne Rooney, and try and build that commercial
overseas support
outside of the actual tickets. But you are right, from the actual Birmingham City fan side. I'm sure what got bums on seats and has increased this season is the fact they've got a manager that can believe in, some excitement with new owners, and of course players that look like they're playing for the club. And for once, it's kind of, for the first time in a few years, it's feeling more like a family feel, in the sense that, everything was ticking nicely.
I just think if, let's say, Gary O'Neill left tomorrow, and hopefully he doesn't because I do like him. If Steven Gerrard came in, we wouldn't think, got to renew it for next season. I don't know. I mean, Birmingham fans, let us know your thoughts in the comments. One, about the ownership. Do you like the way they're doing things? Do you like that hard, decisive Todd Bowley approach? What do you think of Rooney? Scott, I don't even know where to end it, but you are sixth in the table. You do have a decent squad, in my opinion, to actually make the playoffs. Do you think it's going to look rosy for the season, Scott? You follow the Championship more than me. Of course, we do our Championship and Premier League weekly predictions, so subscribe again to follow those. But is it optimistic? Can they look forward to it a little bit?
It's a
because the
hard ask,
players are the
mate. It's a
same.
very
It's the same
competitive league, the
players.
Championship, you know, and
It is.
I thought he was overperforming, in all honesty, with the squad at the moment. Of course, they have brought in players, have got a good squad, but the
Yeah.
Championship is so challenging. And I think among everything, you need a very good manager to get up. And I'm not fully convinced that that's Wayne Rooney. And I think that's probably my last message
Well,
on it. So, guys,
well,
if you have
I was
enjoyed the
just going to
video,
say, it does take a lot of bottle to get rid of a guy that won his last two. I know we had a bit of a bad run before that, but you've won two in a row. You like to think your job's safe for you.
one of them, I swear they scored 7 goals, conceded 2 in those 2 games as well. But yeah, guys, if you have enjoyed the video, as we say, weekly Championship predictions, other videos such as this, so please hit that like button, do subscribe, and more importantly as well, not more importantly, but please let us know your thoughts in the comments too, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Goodbye.